Biden gives himself a pass for the cost of food, milk, and gas. Instead, blame the grocer for your grief, says the vegetable in chief. Today's video of the day comes to us from President Poopy Pants, who attacked grocery stores for continued high prices. Hit it, Gladys.
The cost of eggs, milk, chicken, gas, and so many other essential items have come down. But for all we've done to bring prices down, there are still too many corporations in America ripping people off. Price gouging, junk fees, greedflation, shrinkflation. You see that article about the Snickers bars? Well, it's going to stop. America, we're tired of being played for suckers. And that's why we're going to keep these guys, keep on them and get the prices down.
So in Joe's mushy mind, there's greedflation, but no Bidenflation. Sorry, Gramps, maybe those items would be cheaper if stores didn't need to keep them under lock and key. Fuel costs weren't sky high and the Fed wasn't printing money to give to other countries, illegal immigrants, and student loan deadbeats, otherwise known as Joe's core constituencies. The stores that aren't already closing due to crime are merely responding to the inflation that jumped under his administration, which saps the value of our paycheck. It's worth less and products are worth more. So either suddenly all the supermarket and food producers got greedy at once, or a senile blowhard who never worked in the private sector is wrong. I'm betting on Joe Biden harder than a Chinese lobbyist. But here again, he attacks things that, unlike him, keep America afloat. Grocery chains, natural gas, a working border, law enforcement, hell, indoor plumbing. Joe should thank capitalism every time he enters a store, because without that system, which works despite everything the Dems do to undermine it, the American public would have turned on him ages ago. But as long as we have food and booze and gas and Amazon and Netflix, Joe can lie about the country as easily as he shakes hands with dead people. But he's right about one thing. America is tired of being played for suckers. We can only be distracted for so long with bread and circuses, especially when the bread's doubled in price and the circus clown is the guy in charge. Kat, is it me, or does this guy have no concept of how the economy works? He always blames the outcomes for the cause of the outcomes.
Yeah. It also just kind of, the whole thing felt very like old man yells at cloud.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, in the grocery stores and this, you know, the Snickers, the thing, the Snickers. It's like, and I told them you better to get out. And you're just like, okay, Grandpa, like, and like you got him, you're right. Like, I don't think anybody, regardless of any of their political views, watches that and is like, you know what, I think he's on it.
Yeah.
Like, I think he's got it. I think when I go to this store, like, he's gonna take, people are just like, okay. I don't think anyone's even thinking about it that much anymore. It's just like, what? Like, he doesn't know how much anything costs. He doesn't know what he's saying. I think that even saying he doesn't know how the economy works, that's like a very charitable to say that isn't even close to that.
Yeah. Tyrus, does this piss you off, or is it just funny?
It's funny until I do the shopping at my house.
Yeah.
He can't. He's such. You know, I try.
Yes.
I try hard to be positive about the other side. Like, I got to talk about one thing.
Yeah.
This dude couldn't even get a story about Snickers.
Yeah.
Without screwing it up and think we don't know the difference between lollipops and Snickers. He took us for suckers. No, the story's about Snickers. It's a candy bar.
Yeah.
Suckers is something that you give to people after you let them smell your hair. You know he's got a guy for that. But the whole point of going after President Trump was to expose him. So for 4 years, we had a transparent White House. We knew every vote. We knew who voted, who didn't vote. We knew who was responsible because they were happy to tell us.
Yeah.
So Trump fixed the border by taking his pen and writing out his really annoying, evil signature that they were all scared of, and he added all these laws to stop the border. So now we have a president who forgets we've been watching for the last 4 years because you made politics transparent by trying to expose the evil red-headed monster. So we know how it works now. And so when he says, I can't do anything, whom are you speaking to? You showed us what Trump did. You could do the same thing. So when he says, oh, it's the stores, there's never a follow-up question ever in this administration. What stores? Which stores should we avoid specifically, sir? Is it Whole Foods? Is it Fresh Market? Like, what is the store that we should be focused on doing this stuff? Because, again, to Kat's point, he has no idea what he's talking about. And the American people, we see it. You can no longer, you got to kiss us now before you bang us. Like, we know now. You know what I'm saying? We're not falling for those other guys.
You have always said that.
I did that, yes. It's a very different way of saying it, but it's not, believe it or not, I know it sounds naughty, but it's just me really aggressively saying, give me a hint.
Yeah.
Before you completely screw me over. And he's not kissing at all.
You know, do you think with the Snicker line, he was like, he saw one of the Snickers from Halloween, the little fun-sized things? He goes, look what's happening to them! They used to be this big, and now they're clown.
They're not trying to hide his dementia anymore. They're telling him just go with it.
Yes.
He called Americans suckers for paying retail for groceries. What are we supposed to do? Shoplift?
Yeah.
Or haggle? You know, it says this spam is $4, I'll give you 2. That was the greatest insult of my lifetime that a president has paid me, that I'm a sucker for wanting to eat and not being willing to shoplift my food.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. You're right. We've said this on the show. We feel like suckers when we watch people running out of Costco with $900 or whatever worth of stuff, and we're going like, why are we doing that? We are the suckers. He just told us.
We're the suckers for putting up with this crap. I mean, we really are. Not only is Kat right, does he sound like he's ranting in a dog park or something. But he's turning on everybody who's productive on behalf of everybody who isn't. And I'm tired of his insults.
Yeah.
I could win the insult contest 10 times over with him, but he gets to be on TV and I don't get to talk back except when I come here.
Exactly. You know, it's true. Like Trump insulted the power. He never insulted the people. That's all Joe does, is insult the people.
But it's from a position of ignorance.
Yeah.
He completely has no idea how a supermarket works. Do you think the supermarkets want the prices to be high? Absolutely not. They don't make money off of the price being high. They make money off of prices being low and selling more goods because they are a volume business. So if you have more money in your pocket and you can buy more goods, that grocery store makes more money.
Yes.
So if he doesn't understand that simple transaction, how can he run the economy? Oh, wait, he can't.
Yeah, it's true. It's like, why do they have sales? Right? It's like low prices are what gets people in. What an idiot. All right. I'm almost done with them. Coming up, old Joe's obsessed with the dumbest members of...
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.